Yo, this African Ant, the African Ant Show. I got my man DaShawn, aka Toney filmz on Instagram. How you doing today, man?
Oh man, I'm cooling, man.
Cool. I appreciate you doing this with me, man. Helping me live out one of my dreams.
Most
You know,
definitely.
doing these interviews and stuff like that. So how your day been going before we get started?
Oh man, it's a blessing, man. Every day you wake up is a blessing. People get mad at the wrong things, man. Like
Right.
every day your feet touch the floor,
Right.
it's a true blessing.
I feel that. Let me move this out the way. So like, let's get started at the beginning. I like to start at the beginning. So where did you grow up at?
Um, I grew up in East Cleveland, just like I guess most people at the time, because they had the bigger houses, and my
Right.
family was kind of big, so we needed something that was a 5-bedroom house. So yeah, that's pretty much where I grew up in that area.
Where at in East Cleveland? Like just for the people that's watching, East Cleveland is like it's the east side, but it's like a part of Cleveland, a little suburban Cleveland. You know, inside the city of Cleveland, that's like almost at the end of Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? Where Cleveland stop at the, where it goes to the next suburb which is Euclid. You know what I'm saying? It's different. In Cleveland, we kind of like say the name of our street that we grew up on. That's how we, instead of like, I know in New York they say like Brooklyn and Bronx,
Right.
and you know what I'm saying. We kind of say the name of the street. That's why I asked them like where exactly is
Oh
Cleveland.
no, I mean I grew up on Wardena. We was close to Lakeview Cemetery, Little Italy. Like if you would have failed the wrong way, you would have been in that Case Western Reserve
Right,
area.
right.
So we was like at the tail end, going towards like that Cleveland Clinic UH way.
Right, yeah, right at the bottom of the hill. I grew up on Superior Hill, so it's like right at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we definitely crossed paths.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm
most
saying?
definitely.
Definitely crossed paths. So how, like, as far as your upbringing, like, how was your upbringing? Like you said, it was it was like a full house or whatever.
Oh man, when I tell you this, everybody lived with us, man. Like I remember it was a time when I used to have to share a bedroom with my mother and my sister.
Right.
Because everybody, that came up or they came from, like trying to get their own stuff started, they all lived with us.
Like
So
your
it was
family.
like, yeah, we was like, man, full house plus 2.
Right.
So it was like, eventually though, everybody got their own, and then it was just, me, my mom, and my grandparents. But yeah, that's pretty much how we grew up.
Kind of the same way I grew up, because we grew up in it was a 3-family actually. They had a apartment. They had an apartment built in the basement or whatever. So it was like 4 families in that house. Like my first cousin, we was raised like brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody move out, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much how we grew up or whatever. So if your upbringing, you would say it was fair, or would you say like it was rough? Would you say it was? You
It
know what
was
I'm saying?
it was pretty much fair, to be honest. I didn't know I lived into the hood until I got to middle school.
Right.
Just keeping it 100, because like going to Superior, like I ain't really experienced it. But then when I, what they always say, you get off the porch,
Yeah.
and then you start realizing what's on Euclid Street or
Yeah.
some of the other surroundings. So like, yeah, I was definitely cool.
Okay. So when did you? We gonna go into, because he a film. He do film, and he do also a photographer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when did you know that you wanted to get into films?
When I was younger, like as far as athletics, I had so many problems, like with like asthma and stuff like that. So sports was just one the way out. But I love sports, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school for to be a commentator. But I realized, I was like, man, you know what? I want to be in charge. So I realized when I was in Toledo, the University of Toledo, I said, I don't want to be no newscaster. That don't fit me. So I was like, man, no, I want to go make my own stuff. I want to be in control of the content.
Right.
And that's what I realized.
That's when you went into film. And
Yeah.
You studied film at Toledo.
But see, I was already, like, people don't know, I started as an actor. I used to act in plays at the East Cleveland Theater.
Right.
Just being from the hood, I ain't really tell nobody that. So
yeah,
I ain't want nobody to ride me.
Like, right. They look at you weird, like, what you doing, man?
Hey, what is this nigga doing?
right.
So I was doing it secretly. Like I did like probably like 10 plays at the East Cleveland Theater, and I was like, man, I could get behind this.
Well, then that was located like right on Euclid, like right on almost
in
by
Windermere, yeah.
Okay, yeah, right. I know because it had that big piano in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, I know what that's. I knew it was a theater, but I didn't even know how long. I always thought it was closed, man.
It was open though. People used to come there. I ain't gonna fake to you.
Yeah.
Like people used to like people from like this. I learned that Tri-C had a theater department. I learned where Caramoo was. Like, dude, people used to come there and literally watch those plays.
Yeah, I saw a play at Caramoo. I can't remember what it was. It was a long time ago, and I was in like elementary school or whatever. So you say you knew that you wanted to get into film when you got to Toledo or before Toledo? Or you said you wanted to be a broadcaster? Yeah,
at first I wanted to be a broadcaster, but then my uncle, rest in peace to him, he kind of like bullied me into being an actor in his plays and stuff. He was directing like a bunch of August Wilson plays. If anybody don't know who that is, but August was like The Raisin in the Sun, Jitney, and August Raisin in the Sun is not August Wilson, but I did a bunch of them. And I was like, man, this not my thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when he kind of like molded me and shaped me, and he was like, man, you need to go to school. Like, you could act. He said, why don't you learn the other side?
All parts of it.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I was watching this interview with the dude that played Zeke on Power.
Okay.
Yeah, he said he started off he was a basketball player. Then he started acting, but he also did the behind the scenes too on his way up. And that's kind of how he got into the door with acting by doing behind the scenes. It just made me think about that when you said that. So you went to Toledo, and I see you went to New York Film School too, right?
Yeah, I went to the one that they got 3 campuses. They got one in New York, Orlando, Florida, which is on Disney World's lot. And I went to the one in LA, which is on NBC Universal, because they actually give you a degree. I ain't just want no certificate. I actually wanted a degree.
How was that transition going from the Midwest cold in the wintertime, the snow, to going out west? You know what I'm saying? Not to mention the gang politics out there. Like, how was that transition?
Hey, man, I swear I'm not going to fake to you. I love wearing slides in February. I'm super flat-footed, so I got a bunch of shoes, but I really don't like wearing shoes. I like wearing slides all the time. But I'm like, being able to go to the beach in February, it's like a culture shock.
Right.
And it was just so much to do. Like, as far as gang, they know you're not from there. We don't dress like that. Like, we not wearing Vans all the time. We not, even though I did adopt certain cultures from them, I do wear my socks up to my knees now, you know what I mean?
Right.
And we don't wear a bunch of Dickies and Nike Cortezes and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm not a hat person. And out there, your hat tell you where you from. Go ahead. But no, like I said, your hat tell you where you from. Like, like this, you might be thinking you know what I'm saying, you fit it, but your hat can represent a set. That's
to get you in the wrong bad situation.
Like a Seattle Mariners hat. That's rolling 60s. You know what I'm saying? So, and like, you learn a lot of that stuff quick.
Right. I thought that was it's a Crip set in Compton too that they wear Seattle Mariners. All Crips wear the Seattle Mariners?
No, they some of them wear like the blue LA hat. Of course the Compton Piru dudes, they wear the Phillies hats. And they just got different hats. Like, only hat that really make you neutral is the Oakland Raiders one.
Right. That's it.
They not gonna hate them,
What about the white sides? Because I seen like Dre and them, they was wearing a white side.
Yeah, that make you neutral.
Okay, so.
But yeah, like they They got their own politics, but they know you ain't from there.
So you ain't had no like no issues with the wrong hat at the wrong.
I've been down there. I'd have kicked it with some of the people, like, man, and they actually show you love.
Right.
It just don't disrespect. It's just not a disrespectful. That's anywhere you go. Just don't disrespect.
Right. Okay. 'Cause I know those people saying like they accidentally had the wrong, had a color on and the wrong neighborhood, and it was like issues. But you know what I'm saying? Did you mainly stayed on the campus or?
No, I ventured out because the thing with when you shoot, you gonna shoot in different areas, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I went to school with, and I shot with people that's foreigners. So they used to be like we shot in Inglewood one time. And Inglewood all red. So they was sending me to the store and stuff like that because they were scared just from the movies. Yeah. It's a movie, man. You know what I mean? So when I would go to the store and stuff like that, man, it's all love. Like, they ain't really, people like overemphasize how it is out
California. There. That's how they do it. Show you on the movies and stuff. You know what I'm saying? I only been out there one time, but I actually went to Hollywood, and we went down and we drove from Vegas. I think it was like 4 hours to there. And when I went down there, we was only there short because it was the Oscars. It was in February, and it was the Oscars, and they had everything closed off. But the first thing I noticed about Hollywood is it's the hood.
Oh, you talking about Hollywood Boulevard, right? Yeah, where they had Oscars,
with the Sunset Strip and all that. With the Walk of Fame, it's the hood though. Like, it look nice on TV when they out there doing the little Walk of Fame, but once you get past that street, it was just like you in East Cleveland somewhere, man. I was like, what?
A lot of people don't know that Sunset used to be the host row.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that. I heard somebody was talking about it though. One of them comedians, somebody was talking about it though. But that was like I was like, what? Why do it look so nice on TV? Then you get there, it be like,
man, that was a culture shock for me. When I first got there, I saw a dude sleeping on Michael Jackson's start.
Oh man!
I'm like, it's dirty as hell on this street. Like, yeah.
Then I heard about the one strip called Figueroa.
Figueroa or Skid Row?
Skid Row. That's what it is. Skid Row, and they got like all the tents and stuff. I had seen a documentary about it on TV. How it's like a whole lot of homeless in there, man. You ever been on that street?
I mean, if you went down, because the way LA is structured, if you went downtown LA, Skid Row is right there. Like, and it's a long strip. Like, I'm talking about, like, you gonna see them tents for miles away. Like, but like, like Hollywood, like, yeah. My school was in Burbank by all the studios. And they didn't really play that out there. Like, if you homeless, you gotta go somewhere else. But Skid Row, it was like, you'd be like, man, it's a culture shock. Like, I mean, rent's so high out there.
It is. I heard, man.
I just drove up here and I was tripping. I said, these gas prices is like California right now.
Yeah, because the gas definitely went up ever since that the war situation out there in Ukraine. It definitely went up. So I want you to another question. I want you to tell the people like the importance of the white balance when it comes to the cameras. The importance of it.
Okay.
They just pretty much turn the camera on and shoot. They don't know, like.
See, the thing with cameras, when you learn certain things, it's like it's a temperature level. Like, when you shooting inside, you kind of want to be at. I know people probably not gonna understand it. You want to be at like a 32 because it's a moody temperature. But see, outside with the sun, is when you kick it up, or you. I mean, it's really just like a preference. Like, if you wanted to have that's why I say with diffusions, like, you want to have an orangey look, you know what I'm saying, which is kind of a warmer temperature. You shoot like probably at like a 32, but if you want a white balance and you want to, the background look white, you go up to like 56. You know what I'm saying, 5600 Kelvin. Like I said, for people that don't know what that is, but that's how you get your white. You know, it's the same thing you learn in school, like RGB, red, green, blue. You know what I'm saying? And it's all in your, basically, like your, as a designer and as a director, it's all in your preference.
Right. Only reason why I know about it is because I went to, I ain't gonna mention it, but there's a school out here that do broadcasting. You know,
Right. Yeah. I'm here.
I ain't mentioning it because I ain't. Anyway, I had went there. That's how I know about it. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I wanted to ask you that. And I also saw that. I'm skipping around a little bit. I also saw you worked on a few movies.
Oh yeah.
One of them was the Juicy Ladies.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
How was that?
We shot that in it's a city outside of Calabasas, which is where the Kardashians are from. I forget, Tarzana, that's what it's called. It's on the, you know what I mean? And it was cool because I got to meet like a lot of people that are like have worked on major projects, but they still a lot of people don't understand these people still do small projects.
Right.
And it was a learning experience. Like I got to work behind the camera. It was like my first project. I mean, all I did was clap the slate and
Right.
and put tape in front of some of the actors and stuff like that, so they can. It's a distance because you got to measure the distance from the camera to the actor. Right. That way, people be in focus and they don't look like they blurry. And it was cool though. Like it was an experience. It was probably one of the best sets. Shout out to Mara though, man. She's in Atlanta right now, getting her stuff going. But we was like, it was cool because like her husband did the catering. He was Jamaican, so we ate like jerk chicken every day. But I mean, it was a cool experience because I learned because they was way more seasoned than I was. I had only been in LA for like 4 months, so I just picked everybody's brain. Right. So that's definitely, like I said, Mara. Shout out to you. Like that was one of my best. Cause it was like my first, like I got paid. It wasn't no school project. Like
right. I was just, yeah. And then you did Childhood Chills.
Yeah, that was I think they was doing a horror movie, and like I worked on every aspect of a movie set. I'm not just a cameraman. Like I done worked in lights. I hate sound. Because I don't want to hold that thing, hit that boom the whole time. But I pretty much worked in every aspect of a film set. And on that one, it was cool because like it wasn't like it was a sci-fi, but it was cool though because like I got to learn from people that do CGI and stuff like that.
What's that? What's CGI?
Computer graphics.
Okay.
You know, like where they like, because a lot of people don't even understand. Like when you see a movie, these people ain't really driving these cars.
They're not.
They on a trailer and somebody's putting the background behind them, and they just sitting there turning the steering wheel like this. Right. So. Just to learn, like I'm not saying I'm not an expert in After Effects or Nuke or anything like that, but it was cool like to learn like how they do it. Like they sit on set and they making this stuff right there. I'm like, God dog. I'm like,
I was looking to see like if it was like any A-list or B-list celebrities. Did you meet any of them?
I met a lot of not the major ones, but I met like a lot of, for some reason I met a lot of Instagram models. I don't know how but they audition. They really don't want to be Instagram models. You feel me? They want to be actors too.
Yeah, they just using that to get on.
Yeah, like I met people like that were on the show Blackish. I met the one dude. He's the director of The Simpsons right now. But nobody would never know who he is because he's not Bart. He's not Homer. Nobody knows who any of these people is.
Right,
but
because they behind the scenes.
Yeah, and every time I used to be on Universal Backlot too, though, that's crazy. I used to be like, man, I can't wait to see Steven Spielberg riding around in his golf cart.
Right.
I never seen him though,
Right.
But I ain't gonna lie, if you go out there, you go on that, because you could do a studio tour at the Backlot. You ain't gotta just be working over there. Oh, it'll ruin your childhood.
What seeing all of the effects and stuff.
Man, when you see the Back to Future clock tower, man, you be like, man, I just knew y'all was somewhere else.
Right.
But right here, then they show you like Jaws, and you know what I'm saying, where they shot Jaws at, like it's a little bitty pool, like
it was in the pool.
A little bitty pool. They did a little bit of it in like Massachusetts, but it's a little bitty pool, man, and they had this little shark.
Like robotic shot.
A robotic shot, and you be like, man.
How they had a beach scene with the sand and all that. They just did that at a beach.
Yeah, they went out there, flew there, and just threw that in there and edited it. I'm like, because they'll tell you the shark didn't work.
Oh man,
he couldn't get the shark to work.
So he just faked it.
They faked it. They faked the whole movie.
Man, that's crazy. And when I watch like movies like that now, it just the whole picture of it is just different. The technology was a lot different, man. You be like, man, how did I even like this movie? Because it, like, you know, the picture and the technology is what pop out to you. You know what I'm saying? When you watch a movie, like that's like the first thing that pop out to you. You see it be all hazy and fuzzy. You be like, how did I even get into this movie? Because you know your mind was on a different place.
Yeah, you're not looking at it like a person that go to film school. Like you go on the CBS lot. They'll make a street look like this street we on right now.
Right.
And make you think they in Florida somewhere.
But they really just on
that. Yeah, like, because we went there, they was like, y'all, because, you know, we in a generation, we was born in the 80s. So they like, oh, this was Nelly and Kelly Rowland shot Dilemma.
Right.
And I'm like, man, that's crazy. I was a kid. I'm not looking for that.
Right.
I just know this is my song. You know what I'm saying? But not knowing y'all created a whole scene for them.
Did they create it with a green screen?
No, they build houses on these sets.
Oh, okay.
And they shoot on them. They build all kind of stuff. Like I said, like Desperate Housewives, which is on NBC Universal. Like,
right.
They have a whole thing. Like everything you watch in Desperate Housewives, even Western movies, they have a whole thing for that.
They just changed it. Like, that's crazy, man.
And you be like,
I'm trying to picture how they do that though. Like,
man, it's so much land. You go over there, they have a European lot to make you think you in Europe.
Right.
And people shoot there.
I always thought they had like some type of big green screen with the had like a little, you know how the green screen go all the way on the floor because it make it like you walk in. I thought it was like a big old green screen box or something. They just,
man, what they do is they trick you.
yeah.
That's the main thing you learn is how to trick people's minds.
That's crazy, man.
And make you think you somewhere they bringing you in a world.
Right. I would love to see that, man. That's something. Do they have like tours on them lots and stuff?
Tours, they do it. They do. Universal Studios do one. It's like but you're not probably gonna see somebody shooting.
Right.
But you can see the tour guide gonna tell you like where you at and what was shot here and stuff like that. But a lot of times they do go to other places depending on what their budget is. That's really how that goes.
They did, yeah, because they did a lot of movies here. They were doing like, I think they did a scene from, I can't think of the movies, man. I want to say Fast and the Furious, one of those.
Yeah, they did one of them here downtown, yep.
Yeah, and it was something else. I didn't even go, I should have went down to that, now that I think about it, man, but I didn't, man, because it was like a lot of, I see it on the news, with a lot of people there. I don't feel like.
You could have.
Through all them folks, just to see what I'm trying to see or whatever, like see the whole making of it.
It's an experience though, man, to really see how they all that equipment and stuff and all that stuff. That's why I used to work every department. I wanted to know how this stuff, like, give myself like some kind of like like promote myself. Like, okay, I know how this work. I know how that work. Like even when I worked the presidential debate, the people was like, man, where you come from? You know how to work all this stuff. Right. I said, man, I go from every department and be like, only one I ain't in is hair and makeup. Y'all can have that.
I feel that. What was your favorite department that you worked in?
The camera department.
Camera department?
Yeah, because they like, you know, like most people, like when you set up your lights, you know, you walk outside, eat a sandwich, you know, eat some craft service or whatever. But the camera is like you hands on the whole time.
Yeah, I did. I had an intern that it was called Village Television. It's like a local television channel. It's down on St. Clair. I don't even know if it's still there. And that's what I did. I did the cameras. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be 3 people there, but it was just me. The other ones didn't show up. So I'm like, when the light come on one camera, I run over there and make, you know, I already have it set, make sure it's good. And then I had to let them know what light. It was supposed to have been a floor director, 3 people in it, but I was the only one there at this particular time. So I'm doing everything. You know what I'm saying? When I see the light, I'll point over to this one, point over to that one right here, so they know where to look at and stuff. So I kind of did a little bit behind the camera though. It was cool. It was easy, but they wasn't never gonna hire me. They just wanted me to do that shit for free forever. And it was like, you had any interns?
Like most of the stuff I did was just off my work ethic. Like people would just be like, man, that's the thing about LA. They'd be like, man, I know this one dude. They'd be like, oh, DaShawn, let me call him and see what he doing. Is he free? That's how they are out there.
So they just, because they know you done it before and somebody.
But they know, like, I worked with him.
Right.
It's all word of mouth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like here, like in Cleveland, and I ain't throwing no shade. It just be, you need too much.
Right.
Like there's no rental houses here. Out there, it's like somebody call you, be like, we need you to jump on set with us. How much y'all paying a day?
Right.
Oh, it's $500 a day for 15 days. You like, oh, say less.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And it's word of mouth because everybody, they call you based on how you work. If you a lazy dude, yeah, you're not going to get no work.
Right.
But it's mainly on like, oh, I worked with him, I liked him.
So
nobody
got to be open then.
Nobody want to work with somebody that they arguing all day.
Right. Do you plan on like doing your own movie?
I'm writing one right now too. I had a horror movie I was writing, but I don't want to get stuck in that genre. Uh-huh. When I say genre, I mean because sometimes if one thing works, they gonna expect you to keep doing that same thing. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people don't know. One of my people that I looked up to as a director and writer-director is John Singleton. And just reality like stuff that we relate to.
Yeah.
So I wrote one. I want to keep writing it. You know what I mean? And hopefully it grows some legs. You know what I mean?
As long as you keep writing, you just got to put it into. You know what I'm saying? Once you're done writing, you got to just keep going. Put it out there. Find some actors. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I see they do casting calls here a lot now lately. A lot of people like where I work at. They was doing a movie called Workout Partner that's coming out. They said they come out in like April. They was filming it up there and different locations and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people that's trying to act too.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Up here, man.
And I'm gonna get back into like going to watch some of these plays because like I said, I started off in theater. I'm not gonna fake. And it's like, and that's, to be honest, it's one of those. It's one of those that there's no mistakes.
Mm-hmm. In theater.
Yeah, like there's no cut.
Right, and video.
What's the line? You know how they say, what was the line? Right. You got to keep going. So, yeah, I'm going to get back into like starting to
acting side.
Or just go watch them. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta support the culture. You know what I'm saying?
So let me ask you this, because I see a lot of people go to those acting schools. Like, what do they teach you to? They teach you to do facial expression. I know they teach you to have certain feelings and stuff like that, but how is that taught?
You know what's crazy? It's your director has to get you to visualize something. You know what I'm saying? Like if I need you to cry, I gotta get you to visualize a dark place in your life. And that's how because they don't say, what they call it is result directed, is basically telling somebody, walk to the door. But the other one is like, visualize you just got into a car accident and you lost your mother and you're a little boy trying to find your way in life.
Right. So
you can actually visualize that. You feel me? Mm-hmm. And it's like, you be like, damn. That's how people start crying.
And when you say it like that, I can see how, like, people like, what was his name, Heath Ledger, had that problem being in that costume. Yeah. You got to be in that mindset, and it was messing with his mental. And it was somebody else. I can't think of who it was. They did. I can't think of who it was. They did something. They said it was like, okay, for example, like with Tupac, they said he was stuck in that being a gangster mindset after Juice. You know what I'm saying? I can see how when you put it like that, how people can get stuck in that mindset because they want you to be in a certain mindset, feel a certain way, and you might like that. And now you know what I'm saying, it's addicted. Now it's a rush, you know what I'm saying? And I could definitely see how they get stuck in that mindset.
And see, people don't even understand. Denzel still he still go to acting coaches.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know everything. Like, if you get signed on for a role and you got to play a crazy person, these people go to mental hospitals.
Yeah. To
understand. They do research.
Yeah. I've heard them saying that. They actually, like, when they do roles, like, they might have to be a junkie. They go around junkies and try to figure out, you know what I'm saying, or they may have had one in their family and they relate that role to that person or what have you. I definitely heard people like who was saying that, though. But the problem is getting out of that character. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get stuck, man. And it's hard to break that. You know what I mean? So since you've been around acting and seeing how it's being put together, who would you say is the GOAT as far as acting?
You know what? People probably gonna hate me for this because you know our parents. You know Denzel is like,
right?
It's Jesus and then Denzel,
right.
But I'm a huge fan of De Niro and Al Pacino.
Yeah, for sure. Both of them, like, man, I like Robert De Niro, man. He's so versatile, man. You wouldn't know watching him and with Goodfellas and all that type of stuff. You wouldn't know that he was as silly as he was, or he could be that funny. You know what I'm saying? And Meet the Fockers or whatever. You wouldn't know that without him being diverse. You know what I'm saying? Being diverse, because you don't really see Denzel in a lot of comedic roles.
Right.
Even though I know he can pull it off, because I done seen some interviews, he was hilarious. You know what I'm saying? So I know he can pull it off. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Say what you about to say.
No, I was about to give you a fun fact about De Niro. I learned this when I was in LA and Hollywood. He actually went to school with Martin Scorsese at NYU.
Really?
And he can't audition. They say he can't audition to save his life.
So how you getting them roles?
But he was doing the school projects with Martin Scorsese. So
so he was just putting them in because he.
So when he got the movie Raging Bull. And I was like, man, you couldn't tell though.
You couldn't, man, because he be killing them roles, man. What you think about? Because I always say that Sam Jackson was he just wasn't a good actor to me personally.
Right, all the yelling.
I want to hear what you think about that, and I say it because he is the same. He been the same person every movie he in. He's Sam Jackson. You don't believe that he that character.
They call that typecasting.
Because
the thing with them out there, like with the film and TV industry, like they all about their pockets. So with selling tickets, you probably would never see his range.
Right.
Because they only want to see you one way.
I don't know, because I feel like Denzel, he kind of do the same movies, but he a different person in each movie.
But he's Samuel L. Jackson should be at the height where he can pick what he want to do. Mm-hmm. But it's like that they typecast you like they do it all the time. Like it's just like, okay, this made us money, so we only want to. This is what the public want to see you as.
Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is like I seen people that was like typecasted and was in that same similar role, but they still, to me, was not. They ain't had that same personality for that role. Like I said, Denzel, he played pretty much the same type of roles, man. Every now and again you would see him playing something out the ordinary, but his personality in that role be that role. You know what I'm saying?
They took a risk.
Huh?
They took a risk. Like sometimes they go out and do it on their own. And be like, all right, you didn't know I could do this. Like, remember, it was a point in time when Denzel was only doing what, historical figures? You feel me?
Yeah.
And then when he played Lonzo in Training Day, come on, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, Denzel, I ain't even know, you know what I mean?
That you can be that grimy and slimy. Like,
right.
Yeah. But you know, I had read the what's that thing called? The IMDb on that, and he there said that Denzel wanted him to die in the end, because you know that's based off a true story. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, they said he wanted the dude still living. Like he actually was driving for Harvey Weinstein. As funny as that sound, this dirty cop. But anywho, he wanted the dude to die in the end. That's the only way he'd be satisfied with playing that character.
Yeah, he didn't like the role of that, and when he played Frank Lucas. He
ain't like Frank Lucas either.
He was like, he wasn't trying to glorify it.
Yeah, okay.
He wanted to see the cause and reaction to it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, I know with that role. I ain't know that about Frank Lucas though.
I actually drove to that spot in Inglewood. I ain't gonna fake. I was like, when I first got there, I said, man, I gotta go to the jungle, man. I gotta see what this really looked like.
Right.
When remember he pulled up and they was clapping the pigeons.
yeah. Terry Crews.
Yeah, I said, I gotta go here, man. It was really one way in, one way out, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's not a tourist spot.
So we're gonna get into some hip hop music, because this is a question I ask everybody.
Okay.
On the show, like, how did you fall in love with hip hop or music in general?
Well, one, I couldn't sing, couldn't rap, even though my family could sing. I don't know how that skipped over me.
Right.
But it was, I fell in love with hip hop. It had to be that Dr. Dre Snoop movement. Their movement.
Okay, yeah.
It just was. I just liked the way they was just flowing and how they was carrying themselves. I was just like, it just fit who I was as a person.
Yeah, definitely. That movement was crazy, man. You really think about it, because he brought, I think Snoop, because remember, you know, he had some West Coast artists, but Snoop brought that sauce to the West Coast. That swag, like, it gave them their look, their identity. You know what I'm saying? Because most people, like Ice-T did it for a while, but NWA, but Snoop brought that swag, like that sauce with it, man. So that movie definitely was big. How you feel that? So what was like the song that you heard that made you like, damn, I like this, man?
It was what was that Snoop song? What's it called? What's My Name?
Snoop Doggy.
Yeah. And of course, you know, what was it? Humpty Hump. You know, but that was just fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking that serious though. You know what I'm saying?
I like Humpty Hump though. He was, you know what this is fun fact. I really thought that it was two people, Shock G, because he was in the video, and then you see how when I was a kid, it came out. I was like fucking 7 or something like that. I really thought it was two different people, man. I thought it was that dude, Humpty Hump, and Shock G. I didn't know that was Shock G, because I saw him in the video. So it kind of threw me off as a kid. You know what I'm saying? It just made me think about that though.
And people probably look at me like I'm crazy, but I was too young to understand what Biggie was rapping about. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't understand his lyrics until I got to be like a teenager in high school or something like that. Right. Like, you know, like lyrical stuff. Like, I don't even know. But these dudes is rocking the club. Like, mm-hmm. Even, no, I say Bone. I will say Bone, though. Like, Bone was one of my favorite groups.
Hey, everybody in Cleveland favorite group.
Even if I was from Cleveland, though.
Your favorite group. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because I swear I see them dudes throughout the city so much, man. It's like they ain't going nowhere. Okay, so you're throwing a comedy show. Which three you picking? You throwing a comedy show.
Man, you know what's up?
And you got to put them in order: the opener, the middle, and the finisher.
Oh, the one that's closing is definitely gonna be Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor closing.
My homeboy from the Middle East, man, he loved Richard Pryor to death. But
let me say this: have you ever been to a comedy show where it was like a few, like at least 4 or 5, like it was like a list of comedians on there, like not at the Improv, but like one of them big shows?
Yeah, I've been to one.
Okay, so I went to one. It was called The Bigger and Blacker with Mike Epps, had Charlie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, George Lopez.
He funny though.
Who?
Eddie Griffin is
George
seriously
Lopez
funny
too. Yeah, Eddie Griffin.
Oh, you did the one with you said Charlie Murphy?
Yeah, George Lopez, Eddie Griffin, D.L. Hughley, Cedric Entertainer. And when I tell you, it's no way, even Cedric, them all great comedians, all was funny. Mm-hmm. It's no way they could have went behind Mike Epps. When I say like everybody was on their feet, you couldn't even hear what he was saying. It was so loud in there from laughter, man. So that's why, like, I said that to say, you got to remember when you pick your closer, it got to be somebody that's going to close the show out behind all those acts. You know what I'm saying?
But no, Richard Pryor definitely closed. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, you know, it's opinionated. And I love Eddie Murphy.
One of them got to be the host, too.
I love Dave Chappelle. But people don't really know how great Robin Harris was.
Yeah, he was.
I would probably put him at an opener and host, and then Bernie Mac.
So Bernie Mac, you having Richard Pryor closing.
Oh, Richard Pryor got to close, man.
You got to think too. Like, you think Richard can come? He gonna come behind Bernie Mac and Robin Harris?
I think, man, we don't know because
we just imagine it. You know what I'm saying? Hypothetical
but
thinking.
He definitely could hang with them dudes, though. And he probably could have. They probably all loved him and idolized him.
And they probably take it easy if he was, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Because even on, let's be real, Kings of Comedy, we know who was the best on that tour.
And that started a beef.
It was Bernie Mac.
Yeah. Because you remember Steve Harvey was the closer at first.
Right.
And he couldn't go behind Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him because he's from Cleveland.
Right.
But he couldn't go behind Bernie Mac. And I think Guy Tory was a host at that time.
They kept changing the show up. Yeah,
They only changed him in between him and D.L. Hughley.
Right.
Yeah, he couldn't go behind Bernie Mac because he was killing it, man. And when I seen Mike Epps, and I'm talking about Cedric, D.L. Hughley, George Lopez, Charlie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, all them dudes was funny, had the show, but they did not have the crowd up like Mike Epps did.
And Eddie Griffin is a funny dude, man.
He is. I'm talking about, like, it was, man, that was an experience for me. So with that being said, Mike Epps definitely my closer, man, because I never seen nothing like that before. Like, I'm talking about, you would think, like, they played goddamn, I don't know, man. You would think The Rock was on wrestling and they played his music or something. You know how they go crazy? Like, how they be all standing up. Man, I'm telling you. So Mike Epps is my closer for sure.
I mean, all these dudes funny, though, man. Like, Dave Chappelle is one of the most cleverest comedian I've ever watched. But I'm just, you got greatness up there. And I didn't even look at Chris Rock.
I would have Mike Epps closing for me for sure. I think Sergio could be my he'd be the host. And I want Dave Chappelle, but with them two, you would then like overlook Dave Chappelle. He had to be the closer in his show because his type of comedy, you know what I'm saying?
Audience, that's what I'm saying. Like what audiences you catering to?
Yeah, that's why, you know. So I would leave him out on this one, even though I would want Dave Chappelle, and I have Martin in the middle. I have Martin in the middle, Cedric the Hoser, and Mike Evans. He'd be my closer, man. I don't think me seeing that, because I went to a Mike Evans show by himself at the State Theater. But him on that tour, and me seeing how good how funny them guys was, I kept saying to myself, I think Charlie Murphy was first, and George Lopez was the host. George Lopez was killing. I'm like, man, how the hell is he gonna follow him? Because he had everybody cracking up.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, Charlie come on. Let me get back in it. Charlie come on. When he came on, he started off slow, but he started hitting us with the jokes, and I was like, man, I can't see how Eddie Griffin or whoever gonna finish behind him, because he. At the end, like, he killed it. You know what I'm saying? Then Eddie come on there and killed it. I'm like, man, you know, then George Lopez was the host, so he was in between, and he was killing it. And then I'm thinking, like, man, how the heck is Mike Epps and Cedric gonna beat this? And they did it. They did it like it was like, and then DL was funny. He was funny. I think, to me, the funniest one was George Lopez and Mike Epps.
I never heard none of his stand-up, so
George Lopez?
I'd never heard none of his
That was the first time I heard him. Was funny, man.
Like I've heard pretty much, even Kevin Hart. Like the best joke I think he told was that the one about his father. That what do you say? What was the one? It was like long dick. Remember that? Right. Like you gonna learn today.
Yeah.
Now that was probably the funniest.
That was his first special.
Yeah, that probably was the funniest joke I ever heard him speak on.
Speaking of this, I believe that.
Pause on that, man. I ain't mean.
Yeah, but I believe they should do a versus with comedians, man, with jokes, and let them tell jokes and see who get the crowd going more.
Oh, Eddie Murphy gonna kill him in a lot of them.
If they do a versus, man, I don't see how Kevin Hart is gonna suffer.
Man, Eddie Murphy,
his jokes it's too long for him to get to his jokes, man. To get to the punchlines, he be telling these stories, and then he had like little inside jokes inside the punchlines, but it take them so long to get to it, man. If they did it versus with comedians, that I don't know, man. He might get exposed.
Kevin Hart got the one joke. What he say? What is his uncle to say? Say it with your chest.
Yeah.
Those are the ones you remember him by.
Yeah.
But Eddie Murphy, raw and delirious, to kill all that.
Man, Martin
with
you so crazy.
You so crazy.
And until that was a funny out. That shit had me dying.
And you take Richard Pryor's Live on Sunset.
They should have had Red Fox up here. I listened to him at work one day. I was like, I didn't realize how funny he was.
I ain't know we was too young.
Yeah, I listened to him on YouTube. They had an old little special on YouTube. It was like on a, I can't think of the name of the special, but he was funny as hell, man.
Dave Chappelle got some jokes like that. That one when he broke down Sesame Street. And he said Big Bird was a drug dealer.
Right.
And Snuffleupagus was
what was that called?
He said, I forgot.
And he talked about the little kid had him scared.
And he said Snuffleupagus was Big Bird's number one.
Right.
He was copping.
Right.
Oh, you talking about the little dude? He said he was like,
hey, he was scared in the car.
He was like, baby.
Yeah, that was funny.
He said, I bought a bag.
Yeah, that was funny, man. Dave a genius, man. He definitely a genius. Now Chris Tucker.
I never really seen a stand up outside of Def Comedy Jam
on Netflix, man. It just wasn't it for me. I don't know. It's because he just on a different space that he in now. It just ain't do it for me, man. But
and Chris Rock got more of an educated comedy.
He more of a political comedian.
If you not reading up, you not gonna know what he talking about.
He for them Saturday Night fans, Saturday Night Live fans, people that like that show. That's who he perfect for that show.
But Eddie is the one that told them to hire him.
Yeah, on Saturday Night Live.
I
don't know, Chris Rock don't do it for me, man.
I mean, say it like that.
I seen one of the latest special he did. We was talking about parenting and stuff like that. That was cool though.
Oh, he was going through his divorce. I did watch that one.
Yeah. Oh, that was cool, man. I ain't gonna lie, this last Kevin Hart, because I wasn't no Kevin Hart fan. And after that, what was the first one called? Laugh at My Pain.
Yeah, I saw that one. The one down at the State Theater.
Yeah, he had that special. I seen that one. And the one after that was okay, but after that it was just getting bad.
It was just like, man, I don't even understand what you talking about.
But that last one, everybody said wasn't good. To me, that was funny to me, man. It had me laughing. Maybe my sense of humor different though. Let's go to the next one, man, real quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Start cut bench. You got Tim Duncan. Well, actually, you got to cut two. You start one, bench one, and cut two.
Well, I'm not starting a dude that can't shoot. Damn basketball. Giannis
gone.
I don't need no shot blocker right now. You know, in today's game.
But you got to cut two. Start one and bench one. We got. I'm really telling people what it is. We got Dirk Nowitzki, power forwards. Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, KG, and Giannis.
They gonna hate me for this one, but we gotta go with the man that started the one-legged step-back jumper, man. Dirk the jerk. Like,
Dirk starting?
He's starting. Everybody do that move now.
So you starting Dirk. So
and I got
it.
I'm benching. Damn, this is crazy. Giannis, you bench. You can't shoot
he
it
gone.
on.
He cut. Giannis, you got to cut too.
Man, you know what? I'm a huge KG fan. My homeboy in LA loved Tim Duncan. We used to be in college at Toledo. I used to be like, how do you like this corny ass dude? Like, but he's a baller. But I gotta go KG.
So this one right here, you creating a team around prime Michael Jordan. Now mind you, Michael Jordan the shooting guard. So we got Steph Curry, Chris Paul, and Trae Young for the PG. Then the small forwards, you got Jason Tatum, Paul George, and LeBron. But for the power forwards, you got Giannis, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. And for the centers, you got Jokic, Rudy Gobert, and I always
Joel Embiid.
Joel Embiid. So you gotta before you pick. Now remember, Michael Jordan, he liked that ball a lot. He liked to shoot. He liked to have the ball in his hand. So you gotta have some players that can work good with MJ.
I'm gonna start with mine. Jordan probably would have whooped Steph Curry's ass shooting from 30 and 40 feet. Chris Paul probably would have been his best pick because he would actually do it. He's a facilitator.
So Chris Paul gonna be your point guard with Mike just too. So Chris Paul,
like me, Trae Young and Steph, like they be out there. You know, Mike ain't like all that dribbling.
So Chris Paul your point guard.
We had the small forward, right?
You got Brian.
Brian ain't gonna listen because Brian want to control the team.
He gonna Mike the GOAT though. You gotta remember, you gotta have tough skin and play with Mike too.
Yeah, you see the people he was beating up on his team.
Yeah.
Like he was. I forgot what was that the forward that fouled him hard in practice.
No, he punched the Warriors coach Steve Kerr.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like it's a system. He probably would have been mad at Paul George.
Yeah, Paul George probably couldn't handle Mike.
I would have probably Jason Tatum. Because he
yeah.
wanted to feed off of these athletes like Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah. LeBron need the ball. He got to have the ball in his hand. So okay.
Yeah, that wasn't even a work.
So the power forward. You need somebody else that's going to score with him too.
Man, I can't pick none of these niggas over KD. I'm just going to be honest.
KD.
Because KD actually is a team player.
Yeah. And he going to play D.
And we will see Curry taught him how to play. Well, the Warriors taught him how to play D.
Now you need somebody that's going to grab rebounds.
I feel like Rudy Gobert might fit
Rudy Gobert
as a center because Jordan don't want a center to do nothing but grab some boards and block some shots.
Yeah.
And B scores. Joker scores. You know what I'm saying? That's not even. You imagine, just look at Jordan teams. Like, what did Rodman do?
I think you picked it. So you got Paul George as the point guard.
Chris Paul.
You got Jason Tatum as the small forward. And you got Durant, the power forward. In the center, you got Rudy Gobert. I think that'll work. I think that'll work, man. Only thing is Durant like to have the ball too. You know, he want to hit like at least 30 points.
But Durant actually let Russell Westbrook shoot himself in the foot.
And he can guard a lot of different positions too. He'll be that Scott. I think it'll work. Rudy gonna be that Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I just want you to grab boards and get some tip bats and you know what I mean?
I would say, yeah, I definitely would say Chris Paul. I want to say LeBron.
That'd be a fight. That team won't last long.
But I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum because LeBron, he don't play a lot of. He play defense when he want to. I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum. No, you know what? I am going with Brian, and I'm gonna go with Draymond for my power forward simply because his defense. You know,
he play defense.
Jordan need that guy. He like that defense, so
he do like a scrappy player like that.
Yeah, and then I have Rudy Gobert as my center.
Do you think he actually could have played with them in the 80s and 90s?
Who?
Draymond.
I think he could. I'm
talking about back when you ain't get suspended like that for fighting.
He would have been a role player.
I'm just saying, like, you know, remember back then, like, they used to be working. Like Charles Barkley and you wouldn't.
Oh, he'd have been fighting. He would have been like a Dennis Rodman type player though, like, you know, except he like a low budget LeBron. I always say he a low budget LeBron. He do everything LeBron do except his scoring ability. That's the only thing. Everything else LeBron do, he do. Because he pretty much the point forward, too. On every team he play on, man.
Yeah, they weren't suspending you indefinitely back then. So
you had to... Man, niggas was getting knocked out the air and they was only getting the foul call. They wasn't even getting the tech.
With Oakley, you think he could have been up?
They'd be fighting. Oakley. They'd be fighting, man. Did you ever see Oakley been doing a media run? He talked about how he slept Charles Barkley in the meeting they had.
Yeah.
Because they got into it on the court. I like, man, and they both was best friends with Michael Jordan though.
Right.
How did y'all all hang out and y'all ain't even like each other though? Like that's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm going with that. Like,
I'm gonna go with Draymond though. As much as I like KD, I gotta go with Draymond.
I don't know. I mean, you know,
because on the defense, you know what I'm saying.
We going with today's league or back then?
That's a good question.
Because today's league, they averaging 130 points in these games.
That's a good question. I don't know, man. If we do it today's league, we got to do it. We got to do it. We got to do it in that era. Michael Jordan prime is that era, so we got to do that era.
Yeah, so when your role, you would not be shooting 3-pointers.
All he gotta do is grab. Yeah, that's why I'm getting. That's why I'm getting Rudy, because he gonna grab them boards, play some defense. That's all we need our center to do. And then Draymond, that's too much defense. We gonna need one of our big men to score in the paint.
Yeah. I mean, in they day,
I might go with Joel Embiid and then have Draymond. You know, he gonna be the defensive guy. Joel be the hit the couple little buckets we need. What separated Jordan from everybody was his ability to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it,
he was a mid-range type of player.
He can shoot. It wasn't a lot of guys that can shoot other than like Reggie Miller. There was a few of them, but not many. Most of the guards was slashing to the basket. Even the point guard, they was going right to their slashers. So his ability to shoot was separating him from a lot of people in that era. Now this era, a lot of people can shoot. Like back then, you can be a big man and get in the league and not know how to shoot. Not even know how to score. Look at Dikembe Mutombo. He wasn't the best scorer.
A.K. George Marathon.
Yeah, they was just there for their size
Sean
and
Bradley.
The basket.
But that come to my point. This how I look at this though. If they had the green light to shoot threes like that, what would Reggie Miller and them and Ray Allen be on a 3-point list with Steph?
They'd be up there if they can shoot more threes. But like when Ray Allen was leaving, that's how he was up there. Mm-hmm. It was more shooting. You know what I'm saying? That's when the shooting started really coming in. You feel me? But it was mainly like the shooter was the clutch, the one that's gonna close the game out. But this something too. Fun fact: the first Splash Brothers was in Milwaukee. Ray Allen and Michael Redd.
Oh, Michael Redd, yeah. Ohio State. Shout out to the Ohio State brother.
They was the first. They were the first Splash Brothers, man. Was them two when they was in Milwaukee together. I think they was only there for like a year together.
Right.
They traded Ray Allen. They was the first Splash Brothers, man.
Yeah, he ended up going to Seattle.
Mm-hmm. And Michael Redd took over. It wasn't for injuries. Michael Redd probably be in the Hall of Fame. It wasn't for injuries, man. With that being said, I think that's all I got, man. Is anything like shout out your Instagram?
Oh yeah. You can follow me. DM me. Follow me on Instagram at Toney Filmz. It's films with a Z, not a S. And you know, like any kind of work you need, I don't care, videographer, photography, whatever it is, you want pointers, you want tips, you know, I'm here to help.
But this African ant, this my man, DaShawn. Mm-hmm. And we out.